Hey everyone, it's William Moore. You're watching Beyond the Ties That Bind. Thank you for tuning in. And right now, what I want to do is make some predictions. And when I say predictions, what I actually mean is what I think might happen. I don't like making predictions anymore because when you make predictions and the predictions do not come to pass, then you lose credibility. So I'm going to call these I would be willing to says. I would be willing to say that over the course of the next 9 to 10 days, we are going to see the economy continue its meltdown. Um, I would be willing to say we are going to see a few more days of 1,000, even 2,000, possibly 3,000 point drops in the Dow. I think there's going to be a major wealth transfer going on. Those of you who are still in the market, you have lost your rear end, and it probably will not be glued back on. That money, that wealth has already been transferred. Um, we'll probably see the central bank, the Federal Reserve, step in and enact negative interest rates, which is a disaster for the currency. However, they've been planning this for quite some time. Now, if you go to a negative interest rate, what you do is you foster a climate of debt and credit. You do not foster a climate of savings. And savings is what makes a country economically strong to a point. Um, but you'll probably hear talk of bailouts of the airline industry. Banks are being bailed out on a daily basis right now as the Federal Reserve expands its balance sheet. Um, so, in the next 9 to 10 days, things are not going to look good until the Federal Reserve steps in and goes negative interest rates. I'm saying that it could happen that they do that, that they take that course. I would also be willing to say that within the next 30 to 60 days, the military industrial complex will be firing up the war machine because of the economic meltdown. Now, you can make predictions, and the predictions can, you've got a pretty good chance that your prediction is going to come to pass if you look into history and you follow trends. Now we have the same trends taking place right now and unfolding before us that we had back in the 1920s and 30s. So it would not surprise me if the military industrial complex fires up the war machine within the next 30 to 60 days and we start hearing about some type of medium or large scale war, a regional war, or even possibly a war between two superpowers such as the United States and Russia, the United States and China. So I would be willing to say that you're going to see the war machine fired up soon. I would also be willing to say that if the Socialist Party A, known as the Democratic Party, has a contested convention, the nominee coming out of that contested convention will most likely be Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, um, I believe that because this is Hillary's absolute last chance to run. After this, I believe she'll be 76, 77 years old, will not be able to run for president just due to the age factor and her health. So anyway, you're going to have Socialist Party A, the Democratic Party, going against Socialist Party B, the Republican Party, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton again, if it goes into a contested convention. Now, this is all scripted. They already know what's going to happen. Maybe they're giving Donald Trump a second term, and Joe Biden will be the one who runs against Donald Trump. Joe Biden couldn't win an election against O.J. Simpson. So if they want Trump to have a second term, you'll see the nominee, you'll see Joe Biden as the nominee. If they want a change in the middle of all this geopolitical upheaval and the coronavirus, you'll probably see Hillary Rodham Clinton come out of the Democratic convention as the nominee. And then I would be willing to say that immediately you're going to have a surveillance state set up. You're going to have the Democrats coming strong after weapons. And that could happen even if Donald Trump gets a second term. So I would be willing to say that the next 9 to 10 days, more economic turmoil. You're going to see the economy spiraling downward, out of control. The central bank's going to be forced to go to negative interest rates. You're going to hear about bailouts of the airline industry, large industries. The banks are being bailed out on a daily basis. As I stated, the Fed continues to expand its balance sheet, so that's something to look for. You're going to see the military industrial complex fire up the war machine, and you'll see the medical industrial complex start talking about breakthroughs with vaccines, and then you're going to have the government trying to pass legislation to mandate everyone be vaccinated. Ain't happening here. And then once again, possibly Hillary Rodham Clinton being the nominee for the Democratic Party. So these, like I said, are just, I'd be willing to say, I'm just looking at trends, trying to see what could possibly happen. Of course, with the coronavirus, I'm hoping that it fizzles, but I really do think they're going to use this for as long as they possibly can use it to set up a surveillance state, to take the economy down so they can fire up the war machine, and to just, spread that panic and fear throughout society as they're doing right now with all of these false headlines. But anyway, those are my I'd be willing to say. And as stated, I could be wrong, but just watch over the course of the next 30 to 60 days. War. Watch out for a contested Democratic National Convention. Watch out for the bank stepping in and enacting negative interest rates, which is going to destroy any motivation that people have to save money. I think we're going to see a downturn in the housing market. I hope not, because our house is for sale. But I think we're going to see a lot of things within the next 30, 60, 90 days. Also, watch out. The medical industrial complex is going to be pushing poison on you very soon. And I would be willing to say, and I said this a few weeks ago before I even read about it, you'll probably see the vaccine come out of Israel. Just because that's how they want to script it. So that they can, everything will be, Israel save the world. So anyway, those are my predictions, or I'd be willing to say, and we will see over the course of the next 30 to 60 days if it comes to pass. And I really feel that we will see a large regional war within the next 30 to 60 days, whether it starts in Syria, whether it has to do with Saudi Arabia, Russia, OPEC versus Russia. But we will see the military industrial complex coming to prop up the petrodollar very, very soon. So anyway, we'll see what happens over the course of the next few months. And if I was right, if I was wrong, if I'm right on a few things, if I'm wrong on a few things. So anyway, have a great day. Until next time, peace.